Hello, it's the Logic Report with your foremost logician, CXB. Pardon me, I'm wearing this ridiculous hat to cover up the bad hair day. I don't have time to shower right now, and there's no need to. I've got a lot of work to do, and then get to bed and wake up tomorrow and do a billion more things while the rest of you sit on your lazy asses. Today, let's talk about something that really irks me. I am going to, right now, prove to you that the popularity of sports in modern society was, in fact, a criminal conspiracy. At first, you're going to say, it's ridiculous. Why would the billionaires lie to us? I'm going to tell you why the billionaires lied to us. Now, let's start with some basics, ladies and gentlemen. Is sports a criminal conspiracy against the people of Earth? Here's a couple simple facts for you. Pick up the New York Daily News. They'll have 25 pages of sports, and they'll even give sports its own back cover and frequently the front cover as well. 25 pages of sports. And almost always, this many pages, that's a zero, for art or music. Now, if you were to get them under oath, they would simply say, well, music is not popular and sports is. Now, of course, they wouldn't say that because the jury would convict them immediately of fraud and conspiracy. So how would they explain that away? 25 pages for sports, even Little League, etc., etc. 0 pages for major acts or even local bands. That's very suspicious. Am I wrong? Right there, my nose went, something smells funny. And you look at them all. New York Post, go, don't believe me. Look at US Today, look at all of them. Watch your nightly news. How many of your nightly news broadcasts have a news, weather, and sports segments? Almost all of them, I think. Now, how many always have music segments? Thank you. Who agrees with the billionaires that sports is infinitely more popular than music? In fact, I'm going to now prove to you that sports isn't even 1 trillion as popular as music. Watch this. You can't even do sports without music. Ding, 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 ding. You can't do dance, or movies, or TV. Music is more powerful and more important than every other medium that exists on the planet Earth combined. It's not even close. I'll give you more examples. How much more important and powerful and popular is music than movies? Well, watch this. I bet you and every person you know have listened to some of their more favorite songs more times. I'll go even further. I bet most of you have listened to songs you don't even like more times than you've watched your favorite movies. Am I wrong? I've listened to Kashmir by Led Zeppelin. I still love it. I've heard that I can't even guess 500,000 times in my life. How many times have you watched your favorite movie 500,000 times? That's right, not once. How many times have you listened to songs you like thousands of times? I just won the debate. Movies are an ant compared to the popularity of music. How many times do you listen to your favorite stand-up comic tell his joke? 500,000? 600,000 times? Even 1,000? Even 100? Comedy is not 1 zillionth as popular as music is. But now let's get to sports, because their argument will be sports is huge. It's a multi-billion dollar industry. Well, first of all, that would be a false argument to make, because who made it a billion dollar industry? See what you did there, you dirty little tricksters? Now, again, remember, all the billionaires say music is not really that important at all, or very popular at all. But the weekend movie grosses are. Every Monday they tell you, even the New York Times will tell you, What did the weekend movie grosses come out to be? I don't really give a fuck, and most consumers and most of their readers don't give a fuck. So what would be the other reason they are telling you this shit? Think. What do the weekend movie grosses teach us and train the young that music doesn't? Think. You can figure this out, people. You're not as stupid as you all pretend to be. You just never stop and think. Again, pardon my fake British accent. I prefer to my regular speaking voice. Think. What does sports teach society that music doesn't? That would give the billionaires a motive to deceive everyone into thinking that sports is 25 times more popular than music. Anyone? Wait, I have a hunch. Sports, we know, is capitalism training. That's why in most schools in America, I can't speak for other countries, but I know in most schools in America, physical education has nothing to do with physical education. It is exactly capitalism training. There's a million ways to train people where there are no winners or losers. Everybody wins. Exercise is good for you. Everybody wins. Exercise is actually kind of fun. Woo! Everybody wins. That's not a message the billionaires can ever let people know, that everybody can win. So physical education instead teaches you, oh, you can win, Billy. But for you to win, somebody else has to lose. So don't worry about the fucking losers. And if you're a fucking loser someday because we robbed you blind, you 99%, try and be a good sport about it. But wait, there's more. Sports is exclusively capitalistic. Music, there doesn't have to be any losers in music. We can all win. I could go buy a Beatles album and a Rolling Stones album. No competition. See? Everybody wins. But if that message gets out to the young people, they will start to think that capitalism is despicable. For me to have 7 mansions, those people all have to be homeless? That's despicable. So they teach you from birth that you want to be, first of all, a winner. You want to be a winner, a winner, a winner, a winner. Winning matters, winning matters. Hell, you might even get filthy rich if you're a winner. But remember, you cannot win, little Billy, unless others lose. It's called capitalism training. And how do all of our physical education and all the schools in America, the public schools, is there almost always a winner and a loser? Or does everybody win? I'll go even further. Music. I mean, there's another thing that sports teaches us, right? Now, a lot of people like me, I can watch sports and really enjoy it. But at the same time, I'm like, who gives a fuck? It's a bunch of guys throwing a ball around. That's not that interesting. It's not. Most of us intellectuals do not find sports interesting. We find it kind of childish. I'll go even further. I think it's kind of insane. Stop and think. You got to remember, you're brainwashed because you're in the middle of it. You can't see the forest through the trees. What does sports really say about us as a society? 1, that you would rather watch somebody else playing a fun game than play the fun game yourself. Woohoo! You are crazy! Now, music doesn't work like that. With music, I can make my own music and still love Led Zeppelin's music because it doesn't sound like my music. I can love them both. But to say, oh no, I love the fact that Michael Jordan did that same play that a million other basketball players did it, it's fake. It's fake. How often do you watch all this World Series in the 1930s? You don't. But people still listen to Bach and Beethoven. They still look at Van Gogh paintings. See? Art and music are a zillion times more powerful and important and popular than sports is. So why does sports get all the media's attention owned by the billionaires? Who could guess? Does this still sound like a crazy conspiracy to you people? Stop and think about it. Has anything I said not made sense? There's comments here. Bring it on, dumb fucks. Put your comments here and prove me wrong. Prove to me that music isn't popular. When was the last time you were in the shower and you just couldn't get those sports figures out of your head? It's never happened to me. How often does it happen to you? Now, have you ever been in the shower and you couldn't even get a song you don't like out of your head? Music is more powerful and more popular than everything else on earth. Here's another reason why the 1% needs to downplay music, because music has fucked the 1%. Example, rock stars destroyed organized religion in America because that's like religion but a million times better, right? You're seeing somebody on stage with a guitar, fucking 4 musicians fucking locked together in this fucking unity. No religion on earth can touch it. They were right. They were scared shitless of Elvis and the Beatles, and they were right about it because they changed the world forever. And that's one example. They humiliated religion. They replaced religion. They killed it. And most musicians have a completely different sensibility than athletes do. Musicians make the world a better place. Athletes make the world a worse place because athletes are just pawns of the 1%'s capitalism training. Do you see? You're not out having fun yourself. You're watching other people have fun. That's fucking... Stop and think about this, people. Here's another amazing point I want you to think about for the rest of your life. And I think this will stick with you again for the rest of your life. By its very nature, people who love sports love conflict. They want to see conflict. They want more conflict. I would argue that only an evil person likes sports. Those of us who love an art and music, we know that there does not have to be a conflict. You can make a gorgeous painting, and I just love that gorgeous painting. There's no conflict, there's no losers. But that hurts the 1%'s entire agenda at tricking society. I'm not making this shit up. It took me decades before, I'd just be sitting there and I'd be like, wait a minute, why do they cover sports so much and never cover music? There's no way music is less popular than sports. And the more I looked into it, every single shred of evidence, people, every single shred of evidence points to the exact same conclusion, just like physical education. It's always sports, and it's always sports where Frisbee is a sport. But I and my friends can play Frisbee all day long, and there's no winners or losers. How often do you play Frisbee in American physical education? Oh, it's physical. You got to run around, catch the ball. It requires eye-hand coordination. Whoa! But you don't have winners and losers. They don't even want to teach chess in all the schools because that's intellectual competition. And they don't want you fucking kids thinking. Has any of you ever seen this in an American school? The bullies pick on the smart kids. That's a scandal right there. But wait, there's more. What did the administration do? Did they punish the bullies to protect the smart kids? Think. Why would the administrators reward the bullies who are beating up smart kids? Think, people. You don't still believe in Santa, do you? And Santa was a conspiracy. What did Santa teach the children? There's 2 conspiracies at least in Santa Claus. One, it taught kids, because kids, when you're fucking that old, you don't give a fuck about Jesus or God. You fucking hate church, but you like presents. So how do you control those little brats? You lie to them. You tell them that, you think you can fucking steal those cookies when I'm not around. But God, you can't say God can see you, because the kid's like, I don't give a fuck about God. But you can tell them Santa saw you. Santa sees everything. Don't touch your little dick, Billy. Santa can see everything you're doing. He's watching. He's got my 5 billion sets of eyes to watch everybody at once. It was a conspiracy. That's part 1. Most people forget the second part of Santa. Because you notice Santa sure sounds a lot like God. A fucking big brother watching you at all times to make sure you do what the authorities tell you to do. If you think that's fucking coincidence, can I borrow $1,000? I'll pay you back tomorrow. Ergo, you are dumb. But everyone forgets the second part of the equation. What else does Santa do? Think. What else does Santa Claus do to the young people of Earth? That's correct. It teaches you that, yeah, authority's going to lie to you every now and then, but it's not that big a deal. Get used to it. Yes, authority lied to you completely. They even went through sometimes elaborate steps to trick you. Maybe even Dad dressed as Santa Claus to trick you. That's called life. Get over it. It acclimates all young people into accepting that lies and horseshit and conspiracies are just the way things are. Hey, no big deal. Tonight when you go to bed, think about it. And then come back tomorrow and disprove me on the fucking comments, you fucking shitheads. Sports is a criminal conspiracy. I'm not even going to get into the zillions of other things. Example, the NFL are all multimillionaires and they're a non-profit. They're a non-profit organization. Raise your hands if you fell for that one. That making millions of dollars is not a profit. You paid it. You still forget this. When it's a non-profit like the NFL, they didn't just not pay taxes. You paid their taxes. You always forget that. When Bloomberg donates $300 million to charity, he didn't donate 1 cent. You donated every penny of it. You and your friends and your family, suckers. Your taxes covered it all. When the Catholic Church is raping children, you literally paid for all of it. Against your will, and it's illegal. Because the First Amendment, actually, and even my fellow liberals, I didn't even notice this till recently, because I didn't realize the word was respect. The very fact that the word respect is in the First Amendment for the separation of church and state, government shall not respect any religion. Tax breaks for any religion is a form of respect. It's a form of deference that you and I don't get. I have to pay taxes, you have to pay taxes, but they don't. How is that not showing respect for religion? It is. You're actually subsidizing religion, which is illegal. It does not say in the First Amendment that churches don't have to pay taxes. The fucking religious kooks and their fucking politicians are the ones who put that into law, even though it flagrantly violates the First Amendment. You should look up the story of the guy who sued in California, in San Francisco, for the One Nation Under God. He sued and he kicked the shit out of him, went all the way to the Supreme Court, and the Supreme Court did some dirty shit. Look up his story. Everyone knows In God We Trust is illegal if it's on our money. Everyone knows if it's in our courts, it's illegal. Everything our government does is illegal! And you just sit there and do nothing. I bust my ass every fucking day. I'm even here trying to spread news through the internet. YouTube is just going to shut down more of my channels because they're fucking billionaire scumbags. Do you still believe that sports just happened to become massively popular and everyone just loves it? Do you really think it was a natural? You still believe these things are natural? No, they aren't. The newspapers control everything. Example, if I open up a restaurant and I give $100,000 cash to the New York Times restaurant reviewer and he says my restaurant is the best restaurant in New York City, I'm going to make tons of money. He made tons of money and we tricked all of you. It's not remotely legal. And that's what they do every minute of every day. Not because they're bad, because you told them they could. You said every day, because your actions speak very clearly, if you rob us all, I'm not going to do anything. I'm going to let you. So they then said, well, fuck, we're going to steal $1 billion from you. And after they stole $1 million, you said, yeah, shit happens. So like, fuck, damn, this fucking asshole's going to let us steal everything. So then they stole $10 million from you. And after they stole $10 million, they said, you okay with that? And you said, yeah, shit happens. I'm going to go watch the Kardashians. So then they took $10 billion and still you kneeled. And then they took $50 billion and still you kneeled. And then they took trillions and still you kneeled. You and nobody but you and your friends created all of these problems. Do not blame the fucking Frankenstein monsters. The politicians are just your Frankenstein monsters. You created them. You and your friends and your family created these monsters. So you either have to fucking fix the mess that you fucking made, or you all need to fucking... Hitler did. It's fake news. It's fake. It's meant to trick you and distract you. That's a stupid question. Then they'll go to the losing team. What happened out there? Oh, we didn't play our best to our abilities. We need to work on our defense. Really? You don't say? You don't. They give the same answers and everything. It's the same shit over and over again. It's so fake that it tricked everybody. It's so clearly fake that it tricked everyone. And this is why you can't have nice things. Because they stole all your nice things. Any other final points we should make before we wrap this up? Let's try and keep these shorter. Anything else you need to know about sports? I mean, I can go on and on and on. You still believe this shit is real. Again, every child knows Santa's a fiction, but they go along with the lie because it's a pleasant lie. Every human by the age of 7 realizes that God and religion is nonsense. Even the dumb kids know it's nonsense. But they go along with the lie because they want to fit in and pass for normal. It's 2015. You're not sick of this shit yet? You're not sick of struggling? You're not sick of men and women fighting all the time? You're not sick of all this fucking cliche crap? The same problems they had 3,000 years ago, we're still fighting? You don't get tired of this shit? I do. The problem is, I'm one smart guy in a fucking oasis of morons. What do? I'm trying to help you, but I'm a jerk off for trying to help you. The definition of insanity is trying to educate humans. Again, I can't go on enough. Sports is a complete criminal conspiracy, and they stole zillions of dollars from you. Again, and you don't even know the depth of it. Example, the Yankees were the richest sports franchise on the planet. So Republican Rudy Giuliani and Republican Bloomturd said, well, they're rich, and they have a stadium that's very profitable. Why don't we spend billions of tax dollars to destroy the house that Ruth built? It's a landmark. And put up a new one. Why don't we buy the Billionaires a new stadium? It's good for economic development. And then the morons go, yay! And I'm there going, it's a sports stadium. It's empty 300 plus days a year. There's no economic activity of any stripe. There's literally no economic activity of any kind almost every day and night of the week in sports stadiums in America. But here's the good news. We know where all the money went. We know where the trillions of your tax dollars went. We know where their mansions are, the yachts. We know where the bank accounts. We can track every cent of the fucking money, people. And we can get it back. And then you've all got a swimming pool. And you all own your own house, and you don't pay property taxes because property taxes are insane and don't make any sense. That's like a stereo tax. You buy the stereo, you pay the tax, and then you have to pay them every year for the right of owning a stereo. And you people fell for it. Property taxes is one of the craziest taxes of all time. And you all believed it wasn't because the 1% told you it wasn't a hoax. What? Do you want to get your billions of dollars back? We could do this in weeks. Weeks, we could get all of our money back, or at least trillions of it. We know we can take Yankee Stadium back. We can auction off all of the Steinbrenner family's assets. We can get the Sulzberger family who created the New York Times. We can seize all their assets, auction that shit off. We can get all of Bloomberg's mansions, auction that shit off. All of his properties, all of his assets, auction that shit off. We can get your money back. It's up to you. How quickly do you want your money back? And what are you going to do about it? Are you going to call your local politicians? Are you going to raise hell? Are you going to call up the New York Jets and denounce them? They're not even the New York Jets. They're from Jersey. I love that. Every newspaper in New York City was like, the Super Bowl is coming to New York. It's like, well, it's not exactly New York. In fact, it's not only not New York City, it's not even New York State. They're not from New York. They're from a different state. Everything about them is from New Jersey. Why don't we just call it New York Giants? Now, people don't realize it. They think, well, that is funny. No, that's not funny. It's illegal. It's a criminal fraud. They're advertising something, and they can't say, we're not doing it to defraud people, because then you'd call it the New Jersey Giants. If you're calling it the New York Giants or the New York Jets, you're admitting your purpose was fraud. Your intent was to mislead the public. Otherwise, you wouldn't have used a false name for your company. You see, people? None of this is real. And this is why the House of Screwball and your Matthew Silvers and the Trachtenberg family slideshow players and the New York Times, all these fake liberals united to shut me up, to say that I don't listen to any of this asshole says. He just harasses people. He's not an activist. He doesn't make any sense. He's crazy. All of my allies, a lot of them are going to deny it, but every one of my fucking enemies, I mean my allies, not my enemies, every one of my allies has called me crazy behind my back and spread the rumors that I'm crazy. Because when I speak, people go, he actually makes sense. He makes sense. He makes a lot more sense than anybody else. And they see this and they go, fuck! Don't get me started. When I ran for mayor, they saw that I was the most popular, literally the most popular candidate in the history of mankind. Votes per dollar, etc. New York Times and the rest of them had to marvel. The day after the election, they all had to go, how the fuck did this little piece of shit get 4% of the vote? Now remember, I got 4% of the vote with them using every dirty, illegal trick in the book to neutralize me. If I got a revolutionary 4% with spending no money, no campaign, no nothing, with you smearing my name all the time, and I got 4%. And let's put that in context. 4% is not very good. But you have to remember, it was a candidate who had every single person united against him. Every entity, every authority united, all newspapers united against him, everyone. All my allies united against me, the Green Party united against me, every liberal united to stop me and help the Republicans. You can't believe it. But I had solutions to everything. You can't believe how many people would tell me privately, Christopher, I think your platform is the greatest thing I've ever seen. But you know how the game works. I wish I could help you, but I can't. I gotta throw you under the bus. Sorry, brother. I look like a fucking Keebler elf with this shitty hat on. Well, I wish I wasn't a pacifist. Because again, there's only one language a Nazi speaks. So remember that. If you're ever bored, just randomly kill journalists. I'm not joking. The more you kill journalists for lying to the American people, the sooner no journalist is willing to. They're saying now we're having trouble recruiting police. Yes, and you're going to have more trouble recruiting police as society turns more and more against the police because the police made themselves look like a bunch of thugs, you dumb fucks. It's over. You can't win this one. Social media is crushing your old media. It's over. Grow up, cut your losses, come clean, and let's fix this shit, you fucking douchebags. Yes, you're not going to have a fucking gilded toilet anymore, you fucking pieces of shit. But we can all live in harmony together, you fucking assholes. Bloomberg just wants to be loved. It's not his fault he was a little piece of shit, born without a brain, born without any fucking sense of humor, born without any charisma of any kind, born without good looks, all this other crap. It's not Mike Bloomberg's fault. It's not your fault, Mike. I empathize with you. And just, let's make this clear, people. The pretty people are just as unhappy as the ugly people. You still believe this shit. I'll give you an example. If you're a beautiful girl, a lot of us would be jealous, right? Like a fucking beautiful girl, she gets whatever she wants. Grass is greener on the other what? A beautiful girl is fucked her whole life. One, she can't have a normal relationship with males. She can't have any male friends. Every one of them is in love with her or wants to fuck her. And it's not even their fault. All of them were wired, predestined in our DNA to fall in love with every woman we see. We see a fucking nice ass and we go crazy. That's not free will. It's fucking robotic. Men do not want to see women as sex objects. We don't have any choice. Just like women do not want to be obsessed with chocolate or cake or ice cream or shoes. They can't help it. We're all fucking robot slaves. I don't understand why we don't just say we all grow up and we all work together to fix this shit as best we can. Please stop it. Stop being fucking douchebags. Right? Bloomberg, I denounce Bloomberg endlessly, but to be fair, he is a little worthless piece of shit. And it's not, I mean, it's a little his fault. But it really isn't. He's got all these insecurity and inferiority complexes because he's 5'5", and he's not very bright, he's not good looking, he's not quick-witted, he's got nothing going for him. He's the only billionaire you can find on earth who has no personality. Compare him to Richard Branson or Trump. You cannot become a 60-year-old billionaire without having a lot of personality. Unless you're fucking multi-retarded, like Bloomberg is. Poor guy. It's not his fault he was born stupid. You see? I mean, yes, a lot of his stupidity is self-created. But not really. I mean, I didn't choose to be born a detective. I don't want to be a detective. I never chose this. But I just could see through all the bullshit and nobody else would stand up and say, what the fuck's going on? I had to be that asshole. It's not a fun job. I don't want to have to tell Bob Dylan, you're talentless. And all of your fans are morons who just believe what they read in the New York Times. You look up Bob Dylan's success, how he got it. It's all fake. New York Times. The New York Times, we can take a fucking talentless group tomorrow in the New York Times. We can do this test tomorrow. Take any musical act, write them up in the New York Times, fill it with hype, and I bet you they sell a fuckload of records. Let's try it. Never in history have they put a record on radio, put it in regular rotation, and it failed. It can't. It cannot fail. So, to those pieces of shit in CIA who might watch this, guys, it's not working. Your way of fighting your fellow citizens is stupid. It's stupid. It's stupid. We need to declare war on religion, which was a fabrication by the 1% of age old. We need to get rid of the concept that winning is good. Winning is good. Sometimes losing is actually better than winning. There's all kinds of variations. Just like often it's better to be ugly than it is good looking. Sometimes it's better to be good looking than ugly. When you're a girl, if you're a pretty girl, do you know how many pretty girls were molested as young girls? Now, the fat, ugly girl wasn't as likely to be molested by her uncle as the pretty girl is. Do you see? There's all kinds of factors here you don't understand. You just judge others like you don't like to be judged, and you get it wrong. Now, you do that too, Christopher. You judge people you've never met. No, I will always, and I always have. I've asked Bloomberg, I've contacted people saying I want to know his side of the story. He won't tell it. You can see I've got plenty of videos on YouTube where I confront my enemies. Facebook, I would link my enemies. I would write about my enemies and link them so they could see it and everyone could see that they could see it and they could then rebut it. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe my facts are wrong. Step forward, media. Tell us why sports is 25 times more popular than music, in your opinion. We'd love to hear your opinion. You just, for some reason, are pleading the fifth like O.J. Simpson. I would argue that might mean something. CIA, NSA, you guys all know you're just fucking too afraid to stand up to your fucking corporate masters. It's time for everybody to fucking grow up. It's time for everybody to fucking man up and let's fix this fucking shit. Now's a pretty good time because you have more angry human beings than ever before and more miserable human beings than ever before. I'd say we got a ripe opportunity to fucking undo some of this horse shit by the fucking Bloombergs out there. And again, the kids who picked on Bloomberg as when he was a little fucking moron also helped create his fucking monstrosity. Do you see? We all treat each other like shit. I don't do that. I only denounce people after they do some fucking vile shit, alright? Then I denounce you. And I always will listen to your side. If I'm wrong, step forward. Remember, I called up Rudy Giuliani on live radio, WABC radio. I called him 24 fucking times, or 22 times. I called 24 times, I snuck on 22. And I would ask him a tough question. He now could then give his side and prove my facts wrong. Oddly enough, he never once did. He would cut my mic, insult me, which had nothing to do with my question, almost never even addressed the question I raised, and change the subject, attack the messenger, sound familiar, and he's a Republican? Wow, that's hard to believe. And just to show you how fake the Republicans are, Giuliani ran for mayor 3 times. All 3 times on the Republican ballot, and all 3 times on the Liberal Party ballot. The Republicans don't like to mention that. You can look it up. He was 3-time Liberal Party candidate, zero-time Conservative Party candidate. Now they use that when it's good for them. Like if they're talking about if he's trying to appeal to a liberal audience, he would drop that fact, and if he's trying to appeal to a conservative audience, he would leave that fact out. Remember, you can go back and look. All of Giuliani and Bloomberg's literature and campaign ads, they all leave out that they're Republicans. That's illegal. It's called false advertising, deceptive advertising. It's illegal. It's fraud, conspiracy. But nobody cares but me. Fuck you.